Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the King Leo Show. We made it on time, just by the nick of time. How's everyone doing tonight? Welcome, J Boss. How you doing, sir? Interesting show tonight. We have a lot to get through, but mostly we have to talk about. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the King Leo Show. We made it on time. Patrick Bet David, how you doing, Monkey Land? Patrick Bet David, one of my heroes, one of the absolute greatest to ever do it, is being attacked for being an American. Being an American. What is this country coming to? I'm astounded at how poorly he's being treated, and we have to talk about that. But also, before we even begin, I want to check in here on the LA election. Let me check this here. Sorry about that, guys. I was just putting the phone to plug in. Let me check here. How is the LA election doing? Where are the live results? Because we're going to talk about that. I really hope that Karen Bass wins, to be honest, man. I'm very excited about it. And I think I'll explain why. And for any Californians out there, they might not be happy. But I just don't think that... let me see if just on Twitter we have anything yet. Spencer Pratt. Who won? Oh, fucking Christ, dude. Where is this? $10 million he spent. LA mayor's race. This is going to require a runoff, most likely. Here we go. Los Angeles mayor primary live results. Nothing yet. Okay, good to know. Interesting. How you doing, Eves? How was everyone's weekend? Mine was okay. I got to catch up with emails and all of this stuff. The Discord. Guys, I'm not good at Discord. I'm sorry. But I went to the most depressing region of Florida I've ever been to in my life, which is that Crystal River area. I had never been there. If you ever struggle with dark thoughts, just go there for a week. Go to Port Richey and you will be reinvigorated because at least you don't live there. It is the worst place I have been in this beautiful state. It is very bad. Please don't go there. It's really bad. It's not good. And the funny thing is, they could do something cool with it, but it's just terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. But it gave me an opportunity to catch up with a lot of stuff and get some bullshit done that I had to do. So I hope everyone else had a great weekend like that. Hoes are mad, man. The hoes are mad at me. They're mad at me because of the Dave Ramsey video. We're going to do Hater Watch later in the week to talk about it. People defending being underwater on their mortgage to me in the comments. Absolutely fantastic. But anyway, let's get to the show because we're here on time. As usual, Patreon, blah, blah, blah. In the description, you get the Baudrillardian film history, one in the 1920s. Let's just get to it. All right. We have a lot to get through. To begin, I wanted to talk here about a familiar character we have on the show, one of my favorite people, my Hispanic brother, who is doing the greatest performance art of all time, James Fishback. You are not going to believe, you're not ready for this. You really are not ready for this. This is the greatest thing I have seen a politician do in America. Let us see what he said his campaign is doing today. You're not going to believe it.
Today, my wife Valeria and I went to a local Catholic parish, met with the priest, and we did something that no other campaign in the history of our state has ever done. We dedicated our campaign entirely, in its totality, unequivocally, to the Sacred Heart of Jesus Christ.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It
gets the people going.
Jaime, what are you talking about? What? Have you ever seen something like that? And they all start clapping. Listen, maybe I'm just not the best Catholic. I don't know what the fuck this means, but it's funny. I mean, it is fun. One more time. I don't know what he's talking about.
Has ever done. We dedicated our campaign entirely, in its totality, unequivocally, to the Sacred Heart of Jesus Christ.
What does that even mean? What does that mean? What does it mean? I don't hate it, but what does it mean? I mean, what? J Bus says he's Bajar and maxing. Absolutely. This is a very powerful wizard here. What does this mean? And the people love it. People are very mad at Byron. Dude, you know what's funny? Is that even if Fishback loses, he won. Because I am going to call Byron Donalds Governor Byron for the next 6 years. And I think at least 10% of Florida is going to do that too. And I don't know if it's even disrespectful because it's just unconscious now to call him Governor Byron. This man is a powerful sorcerer, a wizard. This is one of the best Hispanic candidates we've ever had.
It's not often you see a Mexican in a suit.
We are ascendant. We are an ascendant race of people, the Hispanics in America. Can you grift this hard? It's only PBD and James Fishback in Florida that can grift this hard. Send James Fishback to go negotiate with China. They'll end up owing us money. This is, I mean, dude, at this point, I'm like, fuck it, man. I want to make a t-shirt, more wind. More wind. We need more wind, and this is definitely more wind. Absolutely the best. I really love it. I don't know what it means. Great stuff. Amazing. How you doing, CCTV? It makes you want to do Adderall. You have a prescription for that? Let's get to my favorite mayor in America, the little communist, as President Trump calls him. What's he doing?
Are you a communist?
No, I am not. I don't think that we should have billionaires. No, I call myself a democratic socialist. No, I have many critiques of capitalism. There must be a better distribution of wealth for all of God's children in this country. What I'm focused on is making the city affordable for everyone, not to win an ideological argument.
How is my favorite communist doing? What? I fully embrace him at this point, dude. If you don't get the Zoran thing already, if you can't look past the DSA cringe, the millennialism, then you don't get it, okay? At least he's doing something cool. That is the minimum you could ask for, okay? I can't wait for Bill Ackman to be crying on TV. It's probably not going to happen. But whatever. What is he doing? He's still putting these film skills to good use. What's he doing for the World Cup? Whatever slop is coming to America. Can we hear it for Zoran? Can we hear it for Zoran? Can we hear it for Zoran? How you doing, audio? Can we hear? What is the? A lot of people. You're not helping the city. Sports washing. Shut the fuck up. This is great. You're a third world. You like a third world game. Oh yeah, the third world English people invented soccer. I guess they're so third world and brown, right? Everyone out here, a lot of supportive people, but I did see some hate here. I don't even know what we do with these haters, man.
Do you waterboard him? Do you sleep deprive him? Do you put him in a cold cell? Do you beat him? Do you put cockroaches on him? Do you put hummus up his ass?
What do we do to these haters? What do we do to them? This is the best. You know what my mayor is doing right now? We're going to have a FIFA World Cup game in my city, Miami. For now, my mayor is this lady called Miss Higgins, and she's probably eating the other mayor's box right now. That's what they're doing. I don't see any cool shit coming out of the city of Miami's mayor's office or Dade County's mayor's office for this. At least he's doing something cool. This is the best marketing I've seen for a sport in 10 years. I'm sorry, do we bring back Colin Kaepernick to scream about how it's a slave auction? We're slaves, and he's kneeling and crying and
we brainwashed out here, bro.
I mean, what do you want? What all these conservators, the communist mayor likes to he's doing something cool. What is all this hatred for Zoran Mamdani? I really appreciate it. I think it's very cool. Great marketing. Should have worked at Nike as well. They should probably pay him extra to do it. Great stuff. Let's continue. We have over here, this is CNN, who we're talking about a character we're going to talk about in a little bit. CNN put out a hit piece with this retarded Irish guy that they always have. You know, CNN has this Irish guy who interviews Taylor Lorenz, and I kind of like Taylor Lorenz in my own way. He's just Irish, fat, and stupid. I work for CNN, I'm Irish. They send him to interview idiots all the time. Because he is so stupid. If it's an act, it really is some of the best performance art I've seen in my life. Let's see him here talk to some Groypers. The Groyper movement covered neutrally to negatively. I mean, as a matter of fact, which is very new for anyone that's old. Any old heads out here? Any old people like me? An old head like me? Robbie says to do Alex the Mechanic run into the car. I will do that. I'll do that for you, Robbie. Alex the Mechanic there's an update coming to the whole thing. You're going to appreciate it. But how you doing, sir? Interesting to see how CNN is now covering the Groypers as a matter of fact, okay? Which could mean a couple things. First, let's see the reporting here. We'll see the reporting.
When I say women's rights, what do we obviously need to do? Take them away. This is just obvious. This is what everyone knows needs to be done.
Yet his supporters say
it's all jokes. And the things that aren't jokes are very clear and obvious for most of us.
But it wasn't obvious to me, so I sat down with two Fuentes fans, otherwise known as Groypers, to try to figure it out. You don't believe that Fuentes believes that women shouldn't vote?
Can you imagine working for CNN? You probably have health insurance. And not only being fat and Irish. Look, there are certain ethnicities. You can't get fat, man. You can't. Can't be fat and Mexican. No, that's a bad look. Can't be fat and Chilean. It's a bad look. You cannot be fat and Irish. You can't be this red-bearded little fat guy who's running around like a fucking leprechaun interviewing people. You work at CNN, go get Ozempic. You can't be this little pudgy guy who's it. You cannot be a fat Irish person, okay? And also look at these dirty kicks. Look at this is how little CNN thinks of you. They will send a fat Irish guy in dirty shoes, this fucking leprechaun, to interview people. This is what, and they go, yeah, you deserve it. That's what you deserve. Let's continue.
Women shouldn't vote?
No, I think he does believe that.
Do you think that?
He probably does. Deep down.
So he's not joking?
Yeah, but he wouldn't do anything about it.
But we know that's not really in the
We're not
cards.
trying to change that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, we can joke about it and say, oh, wouldn't it be funny if women couldn't vote and it was up to men to decide who's president?
It seems that even among the Groypers, it's not always clear when Nick Fuentes is joking.
I want to discuss the content, but I mean, just look at how ugly it. And it's not. Listen, not everyone is blessed with being not Irish. It seems like an Irish thing. Okay, and I love the Irish people. They're great. Robert is Irish. And I don't know what it is, but some people, because there's like people like Bill Burr, he's Irish or whatever. I think it's a lack of basic hygiene becomes very evident in people of Irish stock. Because why are you covered in acne? Why is your beard not trimmed properly? You know, Barry Weiss is out there. She's contracting hunks like that Tony idiot to do reporting. You are here. You should be doing the best skincare routine. You should be on the best diet. You're Irish, man. You can, at their best, Irish people look great. How is CNN? It's like a cruel joke that they're allowing this. That they're allowing this guy to come out here, fucking pus oozing out of his face, to interview the Groypers and to make the Groypers look bad. And you are sending someone who looks inherently worse. If you sent someone to a homeless person to interview them, it would look just as bad. I don't understand this. You don't listen. Invisalign is like $3,000. Your teeth are messed up. You're not even British. You're fucking Irish. Your teeth are messed up. Your face is not. You need to be more presentable. Wash your face before you do the stream. At least cut your beard and cut your fucking mustache correctly. And dress like an adult. Who's watching? So let's continue.
Always clear when Nick Fuentes is joking and when he's not. If you're like going on a date with a woman or whatever,
I would still joke like that.
Yeah.
And also, this just shows you the loss of of ability that we've seen in America. Shooting from the bottom up. If you're like a jacked guy, that makes you look great. You look like a leprechaun right now. You actually look like a leprechaun. That's what you look like. You look pudgy. You look like you're sitting on a pot of gold. Why would you shoot it in this way?
Date with a woman or whatever,
I would still joke like that.
Yeah.
And
if she's offended, I wouldn't be dating her.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I think women should only be allowed to vote if they're married. Because I think if they were married, they would vote with their husband.
Rich, do you think women should vote?
Sure. Let them vote. I don't have an issue with it.
You don't?
No. Let them vote. I mean, I think we need to win through politics. We need to have a massive coalition, and we're gonna have women involved too.
Great reporting from CNN. Do you remember when CNN was real, when they had those reporters lying about being shot over Yugoslavia or whatever? I don't understand who gave CNN the idea that they could drop all standards of journalism, aesthetics, looks, and continue to produce crap and try to influence people. Who could have given them that idea?
He could only have gotten that idea from Benjamin Netanyahu. That's it.
This is the worst news service. I don't even want to talk about the content. This is it's so ugly on its face. I mean, I guess we should talk about it. It's kind of interesting that the Groypers are being covered as, you know, a legitimate political, if fringe, but legitimate political interest group of young men who have dropped out of society. I guess they're trying to lump Groypers in with that. They sent in a young man to talk to them, a young Irish man. That's relevant. I don't know. Do you know? Do I know? We're just making things up at this point, aren't we? I mean, we have to wait and see. I don't know if James Fishback is going to win. And so far, none of the Groyper initiatives politically have really panned out, whether they were positive or negative. So we're going to have to wait and see. I mean, what else are we going to do? We just have to wait and see. I mean, it's nice to see young people with a hobby, you know. I just think this is a big waste of time. I don't know, man. I go for it. Groypers, go for it. You know, do whatever you want. I have trouble seeing how any of this is going to result in anyone getting what they want. But you know what? We'll see. We'll check it out. Maybe James Fishback makes Florida great, and he's a Groyper. So it'd be cool. Eve says, I'm over the hill, sir. About the Alex the Mechanic. Thank you, sir. Is he a dumbbell? I wonder what he was thinking. Is he an influencer or something? I have never seen or heard of him. This guy, no, he's a reporter for CNN. I forget this guy's name, Eves. This guy is this embarrassingly bad Irish guy that they have interview mostly internet people like Taylor Lorenz. It's just terrible, terrible. How you doing, Iron Hammer? Let's continue. I'm going to make him a title card. Let's listen to some more Dave Ramsey. You should see how angry people were at me for criticizing Dave Ramsey for telling you to follow the Bible for financial advice. If you think you need to follow the Bible, if you think that the Bible, predicted currency swaps and quantitative easing, and that you should guide yourself based on the financial advice of 2,000 years ago, you're a fucking idiot. You are genuinely one of the more stupid people I have met in my... There was a guy in the comments bragging to me that he bought a house 2 years ago at 7%.
I always wonder how dumb this goyim sometimes can be.
He was saying thank you to Dave Ramsey for getting him to buy a house at 7% 2 years ago.
Some Gentiles are very stupid. They'll never think. They only want the beer and the alcohol and the sport and the football and the 4th of July barbecue and the beach and the tattoos and the clubs. That's all they have in mind.
You look through the comments of the Dave Ramsey video and you will be sounding like this.
Technically, according to the strict law of the Torah, not one Gentile in the world deserves to live.
Let us get to David Ramsey. What does Dave Ramsey's biblical Christian advice? What is his advice here? Dave Ramsey. Hi, I'm Dave Ramsey. I'm a girl dad. I'm a girl dad Christian. I don't believe in debt, even though Elon Musk and every other rich person absolutely does. I don't believe in debt. I believe in saving your damn money, even if the government is spending all of it. That turned into Louisiana. That turned into Louisiana or Southern Black. Anyway, let's see his stupendous, beautiful, amazing advice here. He shouldn't even, the CPAs should be sucking his cock. CPAs should have a picture of Dave Ramsey on the wall right here, right here. All the CPAs and all the lawyers and all the CFPs and all the CFAs, all of them. Dave, I love you, because apparently he's an expert on everything. Let us see him here give some amazing financial and marriage advice to a 26-year-old.
Engaged here soon. But my girlfriend and I, we have very different net worths, and I was curious what or how you would look at setting up a prenup.
What does very different net worth mean?
I was very blessed. My grandparents did very well. I have a $550,000 paid for house, about $50,000 in a truck. I also have about 135 between my 401k and my various accounts. I also have 350k left over in a college fund. She is currently in PA school, and she will be coming out of school with about 120 to 150,000 in debt.
What do you make?
I make about 100. Well, I'm in sales, so 120 to 150 a year.
Okay.
She will be making about.
If I were in your shoes, I would get so comfortable with this lady in order to marry her that I don't need a prenup.
Shut up, man. Man, listen. You ain't got to say. Listen.
I mean, do I have to spell it out for anyone here? Man or woman? If you own a $500,000 house, you should probably get a prenuptial agreement. That's not financial or legal advice. You shouldn't. You shouldn't get married owning a house and not have a prenuptial agreement. I don't know. It doesn't sound to me like a good idea to get married with someone owning a $500,000 asset that if you get divorced, you will have to split. Why? Multiple reasons, but I'm not a financial advisor like Dave Ramsey. I'm not a genius like Dave Ramsey, I guess, right? But I promise you, I swear to God, if you marry someone and you do not get a prenup and you own a $500,000 house and a year down the line, your significant other, man or woman, decides, they say, hey, I want to have a gangbang, and if we don't, I'm going to divorce you. You are going to be praying that that house is destroyed.
Netanyahu, if you can hear me, drop a bomb on this building.
This advice that Dave Ramsey is giving, it is all setting up men and women, but especially men, to get, have you seen Last Tango in Paris? Marlon Brando is grabbing you, caressing you, but pretty soon he's going to pull a stick of butter out of the refrigerator and shove it up your ass. That's what's going to happen to you listening to Dave Ramsey. This is borderline evil advice. Let's continue. What else does the genius have to say?
You don't have enough net worth to fool with it.
Okay.
If you can't get $600,000 worth of comfortable with somebody, you don't need to marry them.
Okay.
If you had $60 million from your grandparents, we'll talk about a prenup. But
okay.
$600K, no.
Okay.
I wouldn't. Would you, Rachel?
No, I mean the only thing I could think of, if I'm in her shoes, and the script was flipped, and I'm marrying a guy, he's coming out, and I had built a life for me, and I had bought my own home, and I had done some big things. I could see like the home.
Even Dave Ramsey's daughter, who he simps for every time, is giving pushback. If that's not a warning, this is a 26-year-old man calling in there. That's a 26-year-old man that owns a house, a truck, and has $100K liquid.
Come on, man. This is a free man talking.
That is a free man talking. Being told by Dave Ramsey that he needs to get in line to go get his asshole torn in half. That's what's going to happen to him. Dude, if you want to understand what living your life is now, like financially, you really do need to watch, I don't know, like Midnight Express, Last Tango in Paris, movies where men are being completely emasculated and destroyed. Because there is no way any man would give you this advice. Maybe Dave Ramsey is trans. I don't know. And there's nothing wrong with that. I myself am transgender. That's fine. But no naturally born man who's the age that Dave Ramsey is. How old is Dave Ramsey? Fucking 60? Who has seen how divorce court works would tell a man or a woman to not get a prenup when they own a home coming into a marriage. What is the point of the Dave Ramsey show? What is the point?
It's 90% bullshit, but it's entertaining.
You will be begging. It's like in Chernobyl. You know that TV show where they're like, you'll be begging for that bullet if you land this helicopter right now. You'll be begging for a bullet if you get married without a prenup and you own a house and you get divorced. Especially if the house has sentimental value, which it shouldn't have. But if it does, oh, buddy, when you have to sell the house to split the money and you have to pay, because I know the people calling into the Dave Ramsey show are too fucking stupid to do a step up in basis. They just add their name to the deed and you have to pay fucking $400,000 in capital gains and split the money. You are going to want to crash a car into a bridge because you won't care. Oh boy, Dave Ramsey, the most evil man in America. No one is worse. Not even Bill Maher or Charles Manson or Ted Bundy. This is an evil man. Let's continue. Let's get to Barack Hussein Obama, one of my favorite presidents of all time.
You didn't build that.
One of the greatest moments ever. You didn't build that. What else?
Gotta have them ribs. And pussy too.
I want to show you the latest that he dropped in regards to his library, which I plan on visiting in Chicago. This new exhibit that's going to be in it.
I think this is probably my favorite exhibit in the entire place. It just moves me.
The last 2 times President Obama has come to Chicago and visited the museum, he has paused extra long in front of the exhibit that describes the 10 letters a day that he used to receive every day. He received thousands of pieces of correspondence on any given day, and his correspondence unit would select 10 letters that were representative of the letters that came in that day. Some were very positive, some were very negative. The issues varied depending upon the day, but they would pick out this representative sample. And then in the evening, as he was doing his work, he would pull out the letters and take a look at them. He wanted to read those letters because he always wanted to connect with the American people. He wanted them to know that he saw them, that he understood their plight, and that he would offer his words of wisdom to them.
Some of these letters make me cry, still.
So each time he's paused to reread the letters which he remembers from when they first came in, and to look at this beautiful film that narrates the letters and his responses. The 2 times he's watched it, he's walked away and he says, "Gets to me every time." And that's how he felt every night when he read the letters from the American people.
Listen, if you believe a single word that was said here, if you believe that President Obama was taking time out of his day to read 10 letters from Americans, you're a fucking idiot. That's you eating slop like a pig. But just for a moment, I want to consider the possibility that this is real. How many... This is a challenge to Osama bin Laden himself, who said it was okay to attack Americans. Not to bring up Dave Smith. What was it? He was shilling Osama bin Laden's letter to America. In that letter, what he said is that he deserved the right to attack American civilians because their tax money was going to operations overseas to attack the Middle East. However, there's a flip side to that coin, which is that there were Americans that were so stupid and deluded, because that is what Americans are at this point. And I love them. I am one, but that's what we are. That they sat down and wrote letters to Obama so that he could, I don't know, help them. What do they think he was going to do? Send them a check for money, I guess. I don't know. And Obama decided, supposedly, to read 10 of those a day. The American people's delusions of grandeur and too much free time must have saved at least 10 Muslims a day because of these letters. Obama probably took at least 5 minutes per letter and response. That's 50 minutes. That adds up. American stupidity and the belief that Obama was going to really hear them out may have saved the lives of many Muslims in the drone program, because he was too busy reading John Smith's letter about how he can't afford groceries anymore. I don't know why John Smith sent that letter. Obama's probably reading that shit and laughing his ass off at you because you're a fucking idiot. And that saved a lot of lives. So in some ways, these American Karens, what they are, the Karening of Americans prevented and stopped military actions because Obama was begging to pull that trigger. He was begging to put his finger on the button. But supposing this is true, he took time out of his day to respond to Americans. And if that's the case, well then, I guess Americans saved lives. Let's continue. Over here we have, this is one of our first stories here. Do we save this? Do we save this? Yeah, I think we'll save this actually. How about we do that? No, let's get through it. All right. We talked about Mr. Fuentes being covered on Mr. Fuentes. For anyone that doesn't know, this is Nick Fuentes. He's a very famous Hispanic man. One of my Hispanic brothers over here. Who has said that he's going to leave America if Democrats win the next election. And I want to smoke on this here for a second. Let's watch.
Love your show and totally support AF. Sincerely wondering if you, in all seriousness, would actually leave the country and move if the Dems win in 28. Leave all of us to suffer from supporting you. Heart suit emoji.
None of you have suffered at all, actually. You don't know what suffering is. That's just not in your vocabulary. You have no right to even use that word. Yeah, I think I would leave on a temporary basis just to see what happens. I'm probably going to leave and then see how it goes. I mean, because if they get in and they just start ramping everything up at the DOJ, then it's a very bad sign. If they don't, then I'll probably come back shortly. But yeah, I would seriously consider it.
Thomas, love your show.
Now, this seems like a pragmatic concern from Mr. Fuentes, that he's saying they might come after me with the Department of Justice. I don't really understand for what, but I'm not going to step into his shoes. I don't know what happened to him. Okay? But I don't really understand this. And I really am, because everything, time is a flat circle. Okay? Everything that has happened will happen. Which is very frustrating because it makes this hell so much more annoying.
We live in hell. We live in the gutter.
But I remember when I was a kid. Oh my God. Back in the day. Woo! I remember clearly the second Bush election in 2004. I remember clearly the McCain election in 2008. I remember clearly the Romney election in 2012. I remember clearly the Trump election in 2016. I remember clearly the Trump election in 2020. Every single time, liberals, specifically people like Ellen DeGenerate, as Jesse Lee Peterson says,
you are fighting against America and you hate white people.
Or actresses like Lena Dunham, or I don't know, dude, probably Jim Carrey. They would say things like, if George Bush wins this election, I'm leaving to Canada. I'm leaving. And we would always hear them out and be like, all right, man, like, whatever. You're not going to leave. Shut the fuck up. And now I see, because Mr. Fuentes is one of many, people are doing it in this direction now, where they're saying, if a Democrat wins, I'm leaving the country. Now, I don't know where that really, because it makes sense why liberals said they were going to Canada, right? Because they're like, Canada is like, what is Canada in the liberal mind? Like super liberal America or something? I have an uncle there, dude. Canada's not super liberal America. It's a fucking hellscape. But anyway, it makes sense in their mind. When Republicans lose, if they lose, where will people of this type, and look, it's fine, I understand it, but where will they go? Because it's not Canada, right? That's the liberal. What, you gotta learn Mandarin? You go to China? You're gonna go to Russia, to Europe? Because a lot of these places, I think this is an interesting conundrum where Ellen went to the UK, if I'm not mistaken, after this last Trump election. People don't, where are you supposed to go? This is why I love America. There is no plan B. where can Nick Fuentes go that he will not be arrested for speech? Okay. I'm pretty sure Nick Fuentes would be arrested in most of Europe, given their free speech laws on World War II. I don't think he'd be arrested in Latin America, but he doesn't speak Spanish and doesn't seem like it's his type of thing. I don't know if he wants to learn Mandarin or Russian, but I doubt that would be a good look. So, where are you supposed to go? You know? I think it's a real question because I've seen more people than him saying it where I'm saying, listen, if you're a liberal, you know where to go. You can go to, listen, if I had to escape, I wouldn't go to Canada. I'd go to somewhere like Spain after I get my passport, or Iceland, you know? I like those places. Or Latin America. But people who are hard right guys, where do they have to go? Where can you go? You know, Hungary is fallen. I guess, yeah, Poland is fallen with Tusk. It's just, it's not really your thing. You're going to go to jail, actually, in most places. J-Boss says he can go to Iceland. They took in that chess player, Bobby Fischer. But that was back in the day, and that was different, you know? I guess, possibly. I've been to his grave out there. Very sad story, the Bobby Fischer story. Talented guy. Better than that Kasparov character. But I don't understand what Nick Fuentes is supposed to do. I also wonder, will the Democrats, because if we know anything about Democrats, it's that they're giant crybabies.
That's right, run.
That is what a Democrat is. That's what a Democrat sounds like. And I'm saying this as someone who, I hate conservatives, you know, but Democrats, that's what being a Democrat is. Being a Democrat, you probably have to be like the best whiner of all time, you know, to even be considered for the party. What are they going to do? Everything that Democrats have done in this century has been inevitably and totally reversed, whether it be Obamacare, the January 6th Commission, the IRA somewhat, it's been reversed. Nothing that they have done has ever stuck or been something long term. And to their lack of credit, they are a pathetic party of people. What are they going to do, really? I just wonder what they're going to do because, you know, we do a lot of wish casting. We want to hear a total psychopath to be president like Gavin Newsom. Dude, if Gavin Newsom became president and he arrested everyone with a Black Rifle coffee subscription, I would be over the moon. I would be dancing, celebrating. Hell yeah, dude. Go get him, Gavin. Arrest everyone with the Black Rifle coffee subscription. I appreciate it.
Sensational.
But that's not going to happen. Okay? If Gavin Newsom became president and arrested Bill Maher and made him apologize to everyone, that would be epic. Honestly, that would be the best thing ever. If he gave him the Jack Ma treatment or something, if he took Elon Musk and like denaturalized him and sent him to go back to live in South Africa and confiscate all his money, that would be awesome. But it's not going to happen. So what is going to happen? But I'm sure he has real concerns. So I don't know. That's my Hispanic brother over there. Even if we don't agree on everything, you know, la raza, we got to look out for each other. Let's continue. I wanted to show you this here. Is this schizo? It's kind of schizo watch. It's kind of Goyim and gone insane. Let's watch here GB News, which is one of these right-wing UK news outlets, interviewing people here in America outside of a ICE facility.
Or what? 20 times more likely to commit sexual offences than
the Brits?
Yeah, native Brits.
The Brits that colonized the whole world, you mean? That raped and pillaged the whole world to get the power that they have?
The Brits, yeah.
Yeah, the Brits that did that.
Yeah.
And you guys have the audacity to say that the Afghans and Somalis did what?
Well, it's not audacity, it's just a fact.
So is it not a fact? Is it not a fact that y'all colonized the world through rape, murder, and pillaging? Right or wrong?
That was true, yeah.
All right, then. So what are you talking about?
The British Empire.
So what are you talking about then?
Hey,
how dare you? How dare you?
Why are you shouting?
What are you? Because you're. That's why. How dare you? You're talking facts? Let's talk facts.
Shitting in my
Let's
face.
talk. So do something about it.
I'm not.
Do
I'm a
something about it,
journalist,
Brit.
my friend. I'm here
Do
to,
something about it, Brit.
I'm here to ask questions.
How'd you get into this country?
You talking about?
I'm here.
How dare you?
Why are you getting so
That's
angry?
really
Because you're a
interesting.
piece of you're a liar.
You know you're
a liar.
You're not
You're a liar.
Would you like me to show you the
You're a
government
liar,
data?
bro. I just
Am I
asked
shaking?
you.
I'm not shaking.
I just asked you what did the Brits do to have the power they have? Answer that question.
You got your elbow on me.
Answer
Oh, sorry, man.
that
Yeah,
question. Answer that question. How did the Brits get their
was the question?
power?
Can you stop spitting in my face? What was the question?
He's speaking.
Why
to you,
are
he's
you
asking
shaking? Why are you getting so angry?
Because drone is going. I'm holding everything back not to break your jaw.
Well, you can do it. You would get arrested.
I don't give bro.
You'll get arrested.
I don't give a.
This doesn't make
It's
your
all right.
argument
I
look
came out
good.
here for.
This doesn't make your
I
argument
came
look
out
very
here
good.
for.
Came out
I
here
didn't come out here to talk
for violence.
Yes.
Well, there you
Yes.
go. That's the left. That is the
Who started
degenerate,
it?
violent
Who started
left.
it?
You give facts.
Who started
You
it?
came all the way over
Who
here. just to
started it?
start shit, didn't you?
Who started
You
it?
give facts. You give
Who
data,
started it?
and they get violent.
Hey,
This is
why
what
don't
you
you
see on
finish
the sheets
it?
of Newark last
Why
night.
don't
Started,
you go
I'ma
back to
finish
your
it.
country?
Started, I'ma finish it.
Yeah, I wish you well, my friend.
Started, I'ma finish it.
You're
Hey, why don't you go back to your country?
No, I live here at the moment.
Oh.
Sensational.
This is the greatest American of all time. Saw a lot of people here being talking shit about this black gentleman here. Don't we hate the British people, Americans? This is something that's always confused me because when I went to public school, they taught me about what they did to us. They did the Stamp Act. Okay? They did the Tea Act. Why are we even pretending to get along with these sick, twisted British people? I'm sorry. You're mad at this black American patriot who Andrew Jackson would probably make his vice president, hearing him say, "What are you going to do about it, Brit?" Because he's defending the decline of the English country. I'm sorry, I thought we were American patriots. This is the greatest black guy ever. I don't understand how you can't call him a patriot.
Patriot.
Absolute patriot. This is, whenever I see Americans concerned about the UK, didn't we fight a war against these people? Your ancestors, Americans, were so fed up with these English people that they decided to go to war with them. Okay? Do you know, I've been fed up with people before. I've never decided to go to war with people. This is absolutely the greatest American ever. People are saying he's disrespectful. He's cheering on the decline of the UK. Why would we not? When has the UK ever been there for America? They were there at the start to make us shitty. Why? I don't understand how people can criticize this guy to say, oh, he's a far left. No, he's just an American. And Americans hate British people, don't they? I really fail to see what the problem is here. This is an American patriot. This is an American patriot. I'm very glad to see that. All right. How you doing, Ephra? Let us get to the next segment. But before that, let's check in on the Los Angeles race. Polls close in 11 minutes. Amazing stuff. Because we have to get to the actual main story, okay? But let's get to the next segment.
The people are retarded.
All right, let's start here with the Goyim have gone insane by looking at this gentleman here who has been deemed, we've talked about this guy quite a bit before, the indigenous Chud the Builder. Let's see this here. This is a very, very great performance art here.
Just an American Indian enjoying his homeland while these descendants of pilgrims and colonizers are enjoying my homelands. These guys, they benefit off my homeland more than my own people. They get to live their white privileged life, the best life that they could live on genocide land, my people's fucking blood. These guys are from a fucking different country. I'm not. I'm an American Indian. I'm Scott Picani. Straight up facts. My homeland. Land back all day, every day. Land back, right, guys? Land back. This should be my people's fucking homeland, right?
No, we
land
paid
back,
for,
right?
It's been paid for.
Oh, it's been paid for?
Why are you leaving it?
Because racists like you still exist, bro, in my homeland, my country. People like me had to get scalped for you motherfuckers to be here in my homeland, my country.
You don't even know us.
It's the truth. You can't even admit it. Let me hear land back, bro.
Let's see some more. This is seeing the multiracial Chud the Builderism is really something. Let's see that over here.
Hey, just admit you're on stolen native land, bro. That's all I want to hear, bro. You're on stolen native land, right? Just admit it, bro. Just admit you're on stolen native land, bro. Yeah, you're a white guy with white privilege, and you live your best life on stolen native land. You're not man enough to admit that, bro? You ain't real. You're not real enough with yourself to admit that you're on stolen native land. That natives like me had to get killed for you to live your best little white privileged life. Just admit it, bro. Just admit you're on stolen native land, bro. That's all I want to hear, bro. Just say, hey, man, I'm enjoying my best white privileged life on stolen native land. My people had to fucking kill and pillage and rape your people so I can live my best life. Right? Or am I wrong? Just admit it, bro. You can't even be real with yourself. You can't even be real with the creator. Because I know most white people don't even have spirits, man. That's why you guys are the way you are. I feel sorry for some of you guys, man. Because you're empty on the inside, man. You guys just want to take, rape, and pillage. Look at you, man. You can't even admit it like a man, bro. Admit it, G. Admit it that you're a white guy living your best life on stolen native land.
Well,
say the N-word. Go on.
He's not saying the N-word, which is progress. I'm going to be real with you, brothers and sisters. If I was an Indian, I'd be enjoying that fucking cash money, man. They get paid so much money. Dude, the Indians, because I had to drive through the Miccosukee reservation here the other day. Those people are making so much bank right now with the gambling stuff. They're making a shit ton of money. I don't really see... I mean, I get it. You know, I understand why you would be somewhat resentful. But you do have... I don't understand... Maybe I'm ignorant. I don't really know a lot of indigenous people. And the only ones that I've met before are Seminole, who are like another type of people. They made the Hard Rock Hotel, right? Is it really that bad? You know, don't you get paid a bunch of money? Maybe I'm completely wrong. But why are you mad? But however, putting all that aside, does he have a point? I mean, quite possibly he does. I don't know. I don't know how these land transactions worked in America. Did the American whites buy all this land from the Indians or something? How did this work? How you doing? Everything says, Bro's people homeland either got sold their own land or got conquered. Just let the past go. Right? I've never understood the American system of it, because down there everyone just mixed, right? In Latin America. But here it's like they have these different little reservations and all that. However, what's more interesting here is, you know, for anyone that's under the age of like, I don't know, 35, you have grown up in this time of absolute drivel being produced by Marvel and Sony, etc., like the Spider-Man and the multiverse, which is just garbage that they make, okay? And however, you know, it's lazy writing, it's bad. What is more interesting, though, is that we are living in the multiverse, because we already saw a black guy and a white guy doing the Chud the Builder thing, and now an indigenous person is doing the Chud the Builder thing. I think that there is a possibility, and it's like, what is it, Doctor Strange or something, the Marvel character that sees all the possibilities. There is a universe where if we are all Chud the Builder, then none of us are. And maybe that would be the most schizophrenic but best way to resolve racial tension. I should be walking around yelling at white people. And black people should be around yelling at Hispanics, and Asians yelling. It seems like this is the direction people want to go in. So I don't know. We want to have Chud the Builders, let 1,000 Chud the Builders bloom. And Chud the Builder himself, you know, going to prison will be like a Christ figure for them. Let's catch up here. Ephra says, I have nothing to say. It's entertaining, and to be honest, this dynamic has merit, but I think this guy's just being conflicted for no... Oh, absolutely. But in some ways, isn't bullying yuppies, whatever their race is, sort of a thing that people should be doing at this point? Shouldn't yuppies be, in particular the second video, shouldn't yuppies be harassed for being yuppies on themselves. I don't know. It's just worth considering. Eve says, no point, in my opinion. Do something else. Watch Alex the Mechanic. That is true. And Ephra says, it's the current girl, I guess. Grift, I guess. This is how you generate money nowadays, I guess. Yeah, I just wonder. I mean, it's probably smart, but if you're indigenous, you're rich, right? Dude, is there any indigenous person that's not rich by their own choice? Aren't they all rich? Maybe I'm completely off base here. If we have any indigenous people. So, and even if you weren't rich, I don't think streaming to indigenous people is going to make you a whole lot of money because it's like a tiny population. But I don't know. Let 1,000 shut the builders bloom. Why not? Let's continue. Let's check over here. This is a real encapsulation of the schizophrenia in this country. Let's see Don Lemon, the straightest man in America, absolutely one of the best people we have in this country, one of the best reporters ever, interviewing a couple people on the streets of New York.
How do you feel about the war in Iran?
I think Trump's doing the right thing, honestly.
What's up?
I got no comment on that.
You don't know why?
Nah, I'm just taking a guess.
You're just guessing that he's doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think Trump's doing the right thing.
Is this a joke?
What?
Is this a joke?
Yeah.
It's
No,
a joke?
it's not. It's not.
All right, you can fucking drive home, bro. Or walk home, sorry.
Damn, I don't know what just happened. All right.
But he doesn't even know why.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just think, like, it's not good for the economy. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
I don't really give a fuck about the war. Smoke weed, get money, fuck bitches.
All right, so that's Don Lemon. I think this is in New York. So firstly, I have to say, I don't think telling your friend to walk home in New York is really a great insult, because doesn't everyone walk in New York? That's kind of like telling someone to drive home in Miami. Like, oh, you're going to have to walk home, actually. All right, well, I'm in New York City, so I can walk home. Regardless, look at Don Lemon acting as a virus or a parasite in some ways, coming in here trying to split up this friend group, talking about Donald Trump. And I think what's most interesting is that we really do see the effects of Trump, which is that whether you're for or against the war, are you for the Iran war or are you against it? Make sure to like if you're for the war, and make sure to leave a comment if you're against the war, and let us know why you're against it. Who do you support in the big war? But regardless, no one knows what's going on. They are all saying, oh, the war. And I'll admit, I don't even know if there's a war going on still. I don't know what is happening at all. Does anyone here still pretend to understand what's going on? Elon Musk is IPOing SpaceX at a $2 trillion valuation. And you're going to sit here and tell me that financial markets and government make sense? How about you go fuck yourself? You have nothing to say. You're a fucking idiot.
Shut up, man. Man, listen. You ain't got to say.
But what's interesting is I've expanded that myself, being a Baudrillardian check-in. You know, I can't care. I've been saying it forever. I don't care about anything that's going on. Honestly, I really don't care. I don't care about the Middle East or Iran. And it's not even because I know. They keep telling me that there's a genocide in Gaza. There may or may not be. Hasn't that been going on for like 3 years? Aren't all the people dead at this point? I don't really know what's going on. Is there a war in Iran? I don't know. Did we win the big war? Did we lose? But yet Americans are still trained to have an opinion. But Trump and his like Time Lord, shout out to A, Time Lord tactics, is able to like make people still feel the need to take an opinion on it. But at the end of the day, we have no ability to affect change at all. So what does it matter? You know, what does it actually matter? And I guess that's just confusion. I don't know. Ephra says, you should find Brazilians or Colombians or Argentinians, especially Argentinians, and start talking shit. Tell the Chileans are the best South America. I think this grift would work. Dude, if I went after Argentinians, I'd be making fun. I've done it on Twitter, man. Whenever I find an Argentinian, I make fun of them for losing the Falklands. And they're like, you race traitors. You guys helped the English. And you're like, absolutely. And I would do it again. All right, let's get to, I know that was a shorter segment here. Firstly, let's see here. The polls are closing live here. Are we going to get instant results here? This is California. And then we're going to look at this election a little bit. It's California right now. Eve says, you're changing the world at the very moment. I hope so, Eves. I hope so, but who knows? Who knows? I really think it's going to be tough to say what things end up looking like. All right, it closed. Interesting. So for anyone that's not aware, that's very funny, Iron. This is the election in California, and we're going to look at some stuff here in regards to it before we get to PBD. This is Karen Bass, who is just like a standard corrupt Democrat mayor in LA. Whatever, she's like just a corrupt piece of shit. What do you expect? This is Spencer Pratt of the OC, whatever show he did, reality TV, who's the Chud candidate, the I'm going to kill all the homeless people candidate. That's what he's saying here. And this is Nitya Raman, who's like their version of Zoran Mamdani. And tonight, people are voting. If no one gets a supermajority, then they move on to a runoff election. Too early to call. That's crazy. Wow. Okay, so it's a tough race. Now, we've looked at some of the Spencer Pratt commercials here. Okay. I wanted to talk about this here. Okay. This is an interesting time here because I think Karen Bass is more than likely to win here. But let's talk a little bit about this Pratt campaign before we get to CNN. Before we get to PBD. Firstly, let's start with the videos that are coming out today. This here is a voter in LA talking about Spencer Pratt.
Just want to see a change, that's all. So,
but not Spencer Pratt kind of change.
Not the reality TV star, never held a job kind of change, yes.
I think that this man here encapsulates what a lot of people feel, which is that after the Trump experiment, people are less likely to elect an outsider, especially someone like Spencer Pratt, who's like a reality TV show guy whose house got burned down in a fire. And for that reason, he should be the mayor. Okay, but let's continue here. This is Spencer Pratt on the Bill Maher podcast. Bill Maher, America's most famous, what is it that he called himself a while ago?
I'm a house nigga.
Okay, that's what he called himself. One more time, what is it that Bill Maher called himself?
I'm a house nigga.
Okay, that's what he called himself. What is it that he said here about marijuana?
About safety, safety, the lights being on, potholes, what a mayor should care about. If it's legal, I'm going to be enforcing. You can't be smoking. Legal. I don't want you smoking in front of kids at the park. I'll be enforcing. If you're smoking out in front of a kid at a swing, I'll be getting you as mayor. No more drugs around kids at parks and schools, in front of daycares, even if it's a legal pot. We need to have a society of consequences again. I never thought growing up I could smoke a blunt in front of a kid at the park. Now that happens. Moms do not care about.
Now, what matters here, besides Bill's poor choice in undershirt, what is this outfit, dude? Bill Maher dresses like an American Girl doll or something. He looks like a Toy Story character. Why is he wearing these boots? Why is the hemline on the pants this short? What is this? Bill Maher dresses like he's in Toy Story. I guess black hookers really like this look. They can't help but whatever, putting that aside. This is Spencer Pratt. What's important to note is that Bill Maher did not have Spencer Pratt on the Real Time Show, which is a show that still matters for signaling. He had him on his podcast, which is filmed in Bill Maher's dungeon, where he and his paid friends have a great time. And here we have Spencer Pratt talking about weed. I see how everything agrees. It's understandable about the weed part. But before I even comment on that, let's continue here. Let's see this. This is Spencer Pratt talking about the race here. Okay, look at this.
Somebody gets 50% plus one tomorrow. Race is over. How do you see this going?
I believe I'm winning tomorrow night outright. I think there's a tsunami of votes coming from all the people that are done with politics as usual. They want an outsider. They want a disruptor.
There's no polls that show it anywhere close to being 50% for you. What do you say to that?
I would say to all those people that I have, they're not talking to pollsters. They're moms trying to dodge naked zombies with a stroller. There are people walking their dogs to the park, making sure their dog doesn't step on a fentanyl needle or sniff some fentanyl or walk over human poop to get a matcha. Those people don't have time to talk to a pollster.
Okay, interesting. And finally, I want to show you this. This is a clip here of one of these idiots from Entourage talking about why Spencer Pratt should be mayor, even though he lives in Beverly Hills, which is its own city and has its own mayor.
The LA Times gaslighters. It's weird. One of 15 cameras that I now have at this house. 2 German Shepherds, 3 legal guns. 5 years ago, didn't lock a door here, but you know what happened? 2 animals invaded my house. And no, I'm not racist because they were wearing masks. I don't know if they were white. I don't know if they were Jewish. I don't know if they were fucking rabbis. I know they were animals because they invaded my house. I know I don't care what their excuses are like a lot of you fucking care. I know invaders of homes should get 20 years, but I'm not paranoid, so I don't believe your bullshit about the stats and the crime because everyone in my neighborhood has got the same problem. They're fucking all putting cameras and hiring security guards because we're all getting broken into. It's not made up. It's not false. And this city has collapsed in the last 5 years. There is no fucking denying it unless you have an agenda, and I don't know what that is. But you say, oh, Spencer Pratt has no experience, so how can we possibly think about this? What experience did Karen Bass have, or Rick Caruso, who we know can build things, who we know can fix problems, when you made sure he couldn't win? So right now, you're putting people in the same position that you did with Trump, who I did not vote for, by the way. You put him in by making sure we had no fucking options, okay? And that's where we are in LA, and we want to fix this place because we don't want to be forced out. I'm one of the people who made this city look great. I did it for years. I glorified it. I meet people all the time that moved here because the show that I fucking created, and they hate it here now. Hate.
Now, my producer is the one who really got me thinking on this because he lives in California. Okay. I hope Spencer Pratt loses. And my producer is the one who influenced me to think that way, and it's true. This absolute loser and a tool here, the fucking idiot from Entourage, what's his name? Doug Ellen, is crying here because he says that for some mysterious reason, I wonder why, LA has gotten worse in the past 5 years. I think all of America has gone. What happened 5, maybe 6 years ago that started this negative trajectory? I wonder what was happening back then. I don't know.
During the pandemic, my lifestyle drastically changed.
Maybe it was when you and your Hollywood buddies were filming Imagine All the People, I Take Responsibility, and all the other cringe videos you were doing, locking everyone in their homes because you were afraid of, I don't know, you were afraid of some bullshit. You and that whole city, actually, which relied on the film industry, did this to the world. All of you celebrity idiots. 2020 was the death of the celebrity. A lot of people forget this. Gal Gadot, all these people. And do you remember the Imagine video? All of these virtue signaling con artists, and I'm not talking like Konstantin Kisin, okay? I'm not being like I hate the woke. I'm not being Piers Morgan, okay?
Say the N-word, go on.
I'm saying these people, and this is what my producer doesn't understand, because he, like me, saw that COVID was going to be terrible, is that until your house was broken into by a homeless person, you were glad to see every other person's house be destroyed by homeless people. This archetypical person, because if he had a problem with it, you know what he would have done? He would have left Los Angeles, but he didn't. And the only reason he wants his house fixed is because it's selfish. Now, the only reason he wants to solve property crime is because it affects him personally now. And when we look at that, we have to really wonder, does this person deserve to have things fixed? Because my producer and I, we are good farm boys, dude. We're just like Bill Maher. What is it Bill Maher said? One more time. What is it Bill Maher said?
I'm a house nigga.
Right? I'm not. I'm a good field boy. I'm a good farm boy. I'm a good one. I've never cried seeing chickens come home to roost. Not once in my life. These people are so selfish that they would rather elect than Karen Bass, who is like obviously a corrupt and evil woman. The evil woman, probably DEI hire, who gives a shit? They would rather hire a pudgy, washed-up TV star in order for their lives to get materially better, even though your life has been getting worse earlier and at a more acute degree than what happened to them. And now they want you to go vote for someone, and conveniently someone of their class. How about you go fuck yourself, actually? More wind. When Massa's house is on fire, more wind, bro. Bring more homeless. Bring them all in. What is wrong with you? I think that we've all noticed as of recently, a lot more people are angry since the pandemic. They're like, but now it took 5 years for them to realize that things suck. I knew it in the moment, but it took them 5 or 6 years. And now they're like, we can fix it. We're going to fix it with Spencer Pratt and Donald Trump and we're going to fix it. Don't worry. And it's like, no, you broke it. You fucked it up. And now you want to fix it? When everyone else's life was shit, when children were dying in Mali because the world economy shut down, or in Haiti, or in Belize, when people were dying, did you for a second consider, maybe Spencer Pratt should be elected? No, you didn't. You actually made shitty Imagine videos, and you deserve to have your house invaded by homeless people, actually. I'm sorry, but what is it that they always say? Elections have consequences? Well, shutting down the world at the expense of everyone else has consequences too. And while poor people were fucked, and people, not even poor people, middle class people, strivers, everyone was fucked, you were glad to live in this mansion that you're complaining about now being broken into and have a grand old time with the family. So why don't you go fuck yourself, actually? Spencer Pratt should probably be put in jail for what he's doing. Gavin Newsom should arrest him. Because these people, if we're all suffering, then we're all suffering, man. But this manipulation of the goy, of the plebeian, of the idiots, it's so disturbing to see how people are like, now, after 5 or 6 years, the economy's been shit since COVID, by the way. They're like, oh my God, there's no young men in the workforce. There's no jobs. Yeah, dude, anyone could have told you that in 2020 that was not a fucking idiot. So what do you expect? But that's just me. Effer says, there's a danger with this illusion sentiment that nothing will change and people don't have power. Corporations will destroy this country, guaranteed slowly but surely, idiocracy. I completely agree, Efra, but it's baked in. It's priced in, actually. I think it's priced in. There's really nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do about it. What are we going to do about it? These people deserve to suffer just as much as everyone else. These people are animals. It is, hey, goy, vote to save me in my multi-million-dollar mansion after I bent you over a barrel for 6 years. That is what these people want, actually. That's what they want. Whether it's voting for Biden or voting for Trump or voting for Spencer Pratt, it is the same pitch. It is, hey, will you vote for me, please? Because my life is finally affected by my decisions. I'm a good farm boy. My tear ducts are gone, actually. They've been surgically removed. I can't cry when I see a chicken coming home to roost. They deserve to roost. That's just the way it is. So I agree, Efra. That's the direction we're going in. But I don't think Spencer Pratt is the solution to this at all. And the only person I kind of give a pass to, but he's going to end up regretting it, is Zoran Mamdani. All right, with that, it's time to get to PBD. Does anyone remember PBD? Who's PBD? Well, let's play our title card here. Where's our title card?
Feel free to push back. I'm comfortable with it. And then there's the lions that live in the jungle who have to go get their own meat. I'll give you an idea. And you refuse to hunt. You email me, I won't respond. You DM me, I will not respond. Not on LinkedIn, not on Twitter. Dropping the N-word.
Patrick Patricio Bet David. Patrick Bet David. One of Florida's greatest residents, honestly. Patrick Bet David, to me, and we're going to get into all that. He is an American hero. And why is it that, look, what's the story? What's going on? CoffeeZilla, this ankle biter, is out here saying that Patrick Bet-David is evil because he promoted this guy's little grift, this little Ponzi scheme. Let's watch some reporting here about the Ponzi scheme here, okay? And it was a Ponzi scheme, to be completely clear. Let's watch what happened here. This is a Mexican-American man who, out of Orlando, ran an amazing Ponzi scheme.
Delgado and co-conspirators are accused of taking in more than $300 million from people who thought that they were investing in cryptocurrency. Good evening, I'm Greg Warmoth.
And I'm Martha Sagowski. This is a big story. Channel 9 anchor and investigative reporter Darlene Jones joining us live in the studio with us. And Darlene, in all the weeks you've spent a long time talking with Delgado, he's never denied what's in that criminal complaint.
No, Greg and Martha, but he repeatedly told me that he never intended for Goliath Ventures to become a Ponzi scheme. Now he is cooperating with the feds, and he told me he's already told them what you're about to hear, from how it all started to where that cash went.
Christopher Delgado. First of all, amazing suit. Amazing. It's not every day you see a Hispanic in a suit.
It's not often you see a Mexican in a suit.
Okay, this is great. He's a Mexican American. Good representation for us Hispanics. The bleached hair. Listen, I know that to the whites who watch the show, they might be like, what do you mean, King Leo? What does that mean that, it's good representation for the Hispanics? He ran a Ponzi scheme. Listen, we are known for cutting people's heads off and trafficking drugs. At least we're stepping up the game a little bit, okay? Now we're doing financial crime. That is a sort. I know, look, you guys have been at it for a lot longer than we have. This is like our first. This is like hang the jersey from the rafters, Latino Bernie Madoff. We didn't know we had it in us. We thought we could only pick fruits and like traffic drugs. No, we can also do Ponzi schemes. That's pretty cool. Actually, I didn't know. If you had told me it would have been a Mexican guy, I would have said, you're kidding me, right? There's no way. No way the first Latino Ponzi scheme is going to be a Mexican guy. It's got to be someone else. It's got to be like, I don't know, maybe an Argentinian. They know how to manipulate finances so much. That's why their country's retarded. Or maybe a Colombian. They have a stable economy. They know how to scam. No, it was a Mexican. And you're like, how the hell did a Mexican do it? Maybe a Dominican. That would even make sense. You're like, what? A Mexican was the first one who did it? That's pretty cool, actually. Okay? So it is an improvement. I see J-Boss says, congratulations on the portal on the Ponzi scheme. Thank you. This one actually means something to us Hispanics. It's like, dude, we got one in there, Because the whites, you guys have a bunch of them. You have like Bernie Madoff, and the Enron guy, and WorldCom, and Tyco, and FUD, and all this. We're out here, and we're like, dude, we don't have any guy. No, yeah, we got one of them. Even if it's bad, it's bad. All right, let's continue. What did my fellow Hispanic brother do here?
Says he was in Dubai trying to salvage Goliath Ventures when he learned a federal criminal complaint was coming.
I had a responsibility to come back, not only face the charges, but also give a full picture of what happened.
Delgado is no longer running Goliath Ventures, and he says he's not running from the truth either.
They put their trust in me, and I failed them.
Hundreds of people trusted him with their life savings, and some lost it all. He's wearing an ankle monitor confined to his 11,000 square foot estate, bought last year with Goliath investors' cash, just before his attorneys confirmed he was under federal investigation.
There was only like $160,000 left in the bank account.
Chris, you blew through tens of millions of dollars?
We were paying people. We were paying people, and our people were making an astronomical amount of money.
This federal criminal complaint shows Goliath was born out of Gen Z venture firm in 2019 when Delgado moved from Miami to Orlando, a long way from where he grew up in Victorville, California.
I grew up poor. My first job, I was making $8 an hour and was still broke.
How is this not an inspiring story? Somewhat. I know people, Ponzi schemes, they usually, listen, this is my controversial take on Ponzi schemes. People are usually like, oh, Ponzi schemes, they're so evil. If you're in a Ponzi scheme, you know what's going on. Listen, Bernie Madoff said it, and he was right. Bernie Madoff was actually an American hero in a lot of ways, okay? Dude, there's no way you put $1 million into a Ponzi scheme and you get paid out 1.2 in a year, and you're like, oh yeah, this is totally legitimate. You'd have to be a fucking idiot to believe that. So you know what's going on a little bit. But, you know, I never would have thought that a Mexican kid from California would be able to pull off a Ponzi scheme of $300 million. That is crazy. Can you imagine? That is, dude, that is white people numbers. That's crazy. Like, who does that? That's insane, you know? All right, let's continue. Let's see this. This is an inspiring story.
At 16, with no bills, working my ass off.
Delgado says he earned his first million later as an adult, working as a consultant, bringing in $100,000 to $200,000 per contract, convincing businesses and entrepreneurs he could boost their brands. And he was investing.
I think that was the first time in my life I went into a scarcity mindset. I was scared to lose the money. So if I'd spend $2,000 here, I'd try to figure out a way to make $2,000 here.
You had no college education, no formal president role in any sort of corporate company, and people are paying you to tell them how to run their business.
Yeah. So I had that alert to me, You're the first person ever that would be like, why are these people paying you?
This guy should be the president of Mexico.
And it's a very valid question. And no one's ever asked me that.
Federal investigators say Delgado and his co-conspirators solicited investors under false and fraudulent promises of monthly returns, which were sometimes presented as guaranteed or low risk. We are not naming the alleged co-conspirators because they are not named in this complaint. But Delgado told us he shared their roles with the feds. Investors signing these agreements were required to come to the table with at least $100,000 to get into what they thought was a cryptocurrency investment, earning about 3 to 8% each month.
And they came to me and they said, we want to make this bigger than what it is. And that was how Goliath started.
Delgado tells me initially it was just a small group of friends investing alongside one another. Are you ready to take responsibility?
That was the whole point of this, was not only to show people and to tell people, from beginning to end what had happened, but to allow me to tell them directly from me how sorry I am.
This is honestly amazing stuff, dude. Like, again, 2% guaranteed return. I see even J Boss picked up on it there. If you signed up for this, you're a fucking idiot and you deserve to be swindled, honestly. And everything says, well, all right. This is really something. Dude, how did he do this? He knows it must be like something special when you develop this ability, because he didn't even understand it himself. But anyway, what does this have to do with PBD, Patrick Bet David, one of our favorite people? Because Patrick Bet David had him as a sponsor for his show. What? In order to understand the whole rundown here, I think it's best for us to go over here to DJ Academics. Do you know who this is? Who did a pretty good summary of what happened. And I'm glad to give DJ here this is the most articulate I've heard DJ. Me and my producer were both like, dude, what the hell is this? There's no AAVE here. This is a very good way of explaining what happened. So I think it's best if we watch him explain what happened here. I did not expect this from DJ Academics. I really thought DJ Academics was just kind of an idiot. Let's see him here summarize why Patrick Bet-David is bad in this situation. Let me move the chat up here so that we can see Mr. Academics. You know, like where it's really surprising to see DJ Academics be this good. All right, let's see him here.
He's a smart guy, but I've always been a little bit weary of him. Why? I'll tell you why. He reminds me of a lot of scammers online, because more than trying to gain a viewership for his content, he's always upselling some shit that always seem a little sketchy. Like if you go on his show, he's trying to promote Minect, which is like his app. And we get it. You know, everybody loves products and merchandise. And like, I'm not saying that because he's a YouTuber, you shouldn't have that shit. We have merch.
Now, I love this that DJ Academics is saying this, because I don't know if it's a black thing or a minority thing. I completely agree. Patrick Bet-David recounted a story about how he had to sell his father-in-law on marrying his wife. He was saying that his father-in-law didn't like him because he was Armenian, and rather than accept defeat, he went into salesman mode, okay? And sold himself to him. It is recognizable to a lot of people that are not American that Patrick Bet-David is what we would call a scammer in the way he speaks, in the way he talks, in the way he presents himself, in his suits. And DJ Academics sees it, which I'm not surprised by. You know, I bet black people have to deal with scammers a lot. A lot. I don't know if this is a socioeconomic thing. Hispanics, we have to deal with it a lot. In your own family, you have to deal with it. So when you hear someone talking this good of a game, you kind of become immune to it and you go, I'm suspicious of Patrick Bet-David. All right.
But there's something about him that just kind of breeds just pure capitalism, and also like capitalism probably at the expense of his audience. And recently it's kind of came out that, you know, a bunch of people in his audience got scammed. And there's a shit ton of stories that are coming out left, right, and center basically saying, yo, what's been happening with Patrick Bet-David and some of the things he's been running, capitalized off in his YouTube audience, is almost like damn near either unethical or borderline fraud. Okay. So he throws an event and there was a like huge sponsor, and the sponsor basically gets access to the people that went to the show, and they have a whole presentation. But essentially the sponsor scammed his audience and scammed him for $1 million, or not. Actually, I don't know how much money, but he was paid $1 million by the sponsor to get access to his audience. But the sponsor scammed his audience. So CoffeeZilla called him to be like, yo, bro, you know, like this company you worked with and you kind of vouched for because you took business with them. And keep in mind, this is not like some guy that's like doesn't know. This is a business guy. Like if you listen to Patrick Bet-David, he talks business. It's business. He's always talking about like, you know, back in the office, or he's talking about like his days working, selling insurance or whatever the case is. So that's like his thing. So when you see a scam happen underneath his nose, people start getting weary of him because people used to listen to his voice unilaterally.
I'm really impressed. You know, this is a very good summary by DJ Academics. I did not know he had this in him. Very good use of diction and vocabulary. For anyone that didn't understand just because of finance or something, what happened here that he's explaining is that Patrick Bet-David allowed Goliath, which we saw there, the Gen Z Capital, to sponsor his show. And it led to credence in the audience that is gullible into putting money into this. They put money into the fund because Patrick Bet-David lent his name to the fund. Makes a lot of sense. You understand that. It's a celebrity endorsement and it's paid for, but what DJ Academics is saying, which is true, is that Patrick Bet-David is supposed to be a discerning guy. He's a business guy. I'm a numbers guy. He has to know that it's a scam on its face, but he didn't. So, but let's get into it. We'll see what CoffeeZilla had to say. Everything says, Leo, you should start your own meme coin. Call it Bodgelard coin. That would be a good idea, actually. That would be. I'm gonna look into that.
This though.
Quick update. Patrick Bet-David reached out to me shortly after I posted saying that he has to apologize. He should address the whole Christopher Delgado situation. That video is here. I uploaded it because I thought it is not going to make sense what we're talking about unless you have that context. He immediately did me say, hey, look, I want to call. So I'm posting this video immediately afterwards, unedited, because I want you guys to hear my call with Patrick Bet-David. I addressed the apology. You know, you should apologize for taking this guy on, this Ponzi scheme. You promoted it. You'll hear me talk about the $1 million. Say, hey, can you commit right now to getting that?
Okay. Oh, that's when he talks about it. I want to, here we go. Okay.
Just want to talk. So you can hear him address all the payment for personally, huge payment from a Ponzi schemer. And I want to know if they're going to pay back. It's just as simple as that. I want to know if they're going to apologize for their role in legitimizing a total scammer.
Chat, scamming is like, scamming and internet should just go together real well, you know?
So CoffeeZilla, just to be clear, is asking Patrick Bet-David if he's going to pay money back that he took in order to sponsor this company to make people whole. Because for anyone that's not aware how Ponzi schemes work, it's actually pretty unfortunate. What happens is that unless you're very lucky, if you cash out and then years later it's discovered that there was a Ponzi scheme, the government comes back and takes money from you to make other people whole. It's called a clawback. And it is a pretty gruesome punishment because they're really trying to fulfill their duty that they didn't do at the time by protecting investors, by punishing people that got out at the right time. And he's asking Patrick Bet-David, will you return money to help make people whole? Let's see what Patrick Bet-David has to say here.
Which hasn't been done yet, as far as I'm aware. I reached out to the PBD organization, Patrick Bet-David personally. It's been about a week. I haven't heard back, so I have to talk about it. Now, if you don't know the full lore, let me bring you up to speed really quick. Goliath Ventures was a Ponzi scheme that took in over $320 million of regular people, retirees, business owners.
Now, his surprise there, I hope that you really understand this. I know nowadays numbers don't really mean anything because we have a $2 trillion company IPOing, which should be illegal. $320 million. This young Latino brother of mine was able to get $1/3 billion from people for a Ponzi scheme. To be super simple, a Ponzi scheme, for anyone that doesn't know what it is you say, hey guys, give me money. You ask everyone for $1 million and you tell them, I'm going to double it next year. And then what you do is you get more people and you say, hey, give me money and I'll double it. And you double it for some, and the other ones you tell them, don't worry, we'll double it pretty soon, and you ask for more money. And you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, and that's how it works. That is a very, very rudimentary scheme created by Charles Ponzi, an Italian-American. And it never works, obviously, because you're never generating any income with the money that's being given to you. You're using it to fund yourself and fund the other people. It is a devious scheme. And to raise $1/3 billion on that is incredibly difficult. That's a lot of fucking money, dude. Do you know what $330 million looks like? A house in Miami costs $1 million. Maybe. Maybe let's put a cheap one in West Kendall. $500,000, 2 houses. That's $1 million. 660 houses in West Kendall, Miami is how much money this guy got. Amazing.
Sensational.
The silver-tongued devil himself, this Mexican guy, should be a president. Let's continue. And as Iron Hammer's pointing out, PBD got $1 million payment for the Mexican guy to headline a convention. Of course.
Owners money under the promise of making them multiple percents per month. We made a CoffeeZilla video about it recently. Christopher Delgado recently talked to the press here without his lawyer present, and we reported this back in October to federal authorities, and about 6 months later, Christopher Delgado was officially arrested.
The Justice Department says the 34-year-old scammed investors out of $328 million through his company, Goliath Ventures.
Meaning we're no longer speculating here. He has been formally charged. He's even admitted a lot of this in interviews.
What happened to their money that should have been sitting in an account?
Their money was being used to make distributions.
To who?
This is an insane admission. He's literally saying, this was a Ponzi scheme. I was using the money to pay other people. No one has ever been this transparent. No one. I mean, Bernie Madoff somewhat. This is no attempt at obfuscation I was using the money to pay other people.
To either them or other investors.
And what else did you use the money for?
I mean, we used it for corporate events. We used it for personal spend.
So this goes way beyond the like, oh, it's just allegation.
Now, I want to keep connecting it back to Patrick Bet-David. I'm telling you, Patrick Bet-David, he's like one of those guys where like it feels like anytime you're listening to him for too long, he's gonna require you to spend some money. Like it kind of comes off like he's always trying to peddle some shit, you know. And with those guys, you become weary of because it kind of comes off more than greed. Sometimes it comes off like just like a finesser.
Bro, like Christopher Delgado has confessed to a lot of this behavior. And where Patrick Bet-David comes into all of this is because he was a huge form of social proof for Christopher Delgado to seem legit. His entire organization kind of made this guy mainstream.
Goliath Ventures, founded in 2019. Goliath Ventures is a global private equity firm focused on blockchain, founded by Chris Delgado. It's built on 3 pillars: technology, opportunity, and community.
And this is why I reached out to Patrick Bet-David and his team, only to get no response. I'm expecting some accountability here. Our story starts in 2025 when this guy, Christopher Delgado.
Okay, so long story short, he scams these motherfuckers for $328 million. Then they get Patrick Bet-David on the phone in the next thing. And listen to this call. Like, I rock with Patrick, but I ain't gonna lie, that nigga sound like a scammer gang.
Confirming that I'm recording starting now. This is Patrick Bet-David. We're talking about the Vault Conference sponsored the Goliath Ventures. Look, ultimately the big question is this. 1, are you returning the $1 million paid to your consulting company back to the receivership, back to the victims? And 2, I mean, you know, like, I think, look, a lot of people got hurt in this. You were the number one, probably, credibility person in this. How does that feel? I mean, are you going to apologize? Are you going to address it, like, you know, publicly? I think people want to know. People look to you, you know, as this entrepreneurship guy.
This question is completely unfair, and we're going to talk about it after.
Frankly, a bad look.
Yeah, so first of all, you hate to see things like this. Hate to see things like this that happens. And every once in a while, this takes place. You know, when an issue like this comes up.
Hang up on that nigga, man.
This is, you know, typically when we do sponsorship, if you know anything about me, Steven, I hate doing sponsorships. We stopped doing sponsorships on the podcast 2 years ago because of this exact reason. We literally stopped. It's probably cost us $15 to $20 million of sponsorship the last 2 years. The only place we've taken sponsorship money for, outside of the basic YouTube AdSense that you get, that you're accustomed to it as well, we do the events. So if I do a Vault conference, there's a moment for networking and people set up their booth. And so this guy came to the Vault conference for the last 4 years. And at the end of it, one of my reps comes up to me. I've never spoken to him. We've seen him at the event, you know, typically with everybody else. And he says he wants to be the title sponsor. Okay, great. He goes through the whole thing. We go through the background that our legal team does. Obviously, we make reference calls. We call others to see what they can say about him. And we call people that we had known for 10 plus years.
Nobody flagged him. Nobody flagged the like 4 to 5% a year or a month. I'm sorry.
No, it's a fair question. It's the most disappointing thing. Not one person that's done business with him flagged him. Okay. And so then we say, great.
Yo, he's laughing because he's like, yo, Patrick, you know you scamming too, bro.
Let's go through the sponsorship. Now, when you do sponsorship, you have to deliver on stuff. So meaning we have to set up the booth. We have to set up all these different places where people walk up to them. You know, these 20 by 30, 30 by 30, 40 by 40 booths that you create for them that they have an opportunity for people to go through. So we flew in. Typically, when somebody becomes a sponsor, we fly in, we meet them in Vegas, and then we show them or whatever hotel we're going to be at, and we'll say, hey, here's your location. You're the title sponsor. We're going to put it here. And then, you know, their logo is going to be in different places, but it's not a endorsement. So it's not like I endorse. It's a sponsorship.
It does feel like an endorsement, though. You know,
you're right. No, you're right. I agree. And by the way, again, we learn. So for
now, that's all we really need. You're caught up with the story. Why is this unfair? The reason this is unfair is because of what I've said about Patrick in the past, which is that when George Washington was standing over a young British redcoat, holding a bayonet in his hand and getting ready to cut through his artery in order to have him bleed out and watch the light leave his pale blue eyes, in order to establish these United States of America. The one person that George Washington was thinking of in that moment as he saw this Brit die slowly was Patrick Bet-David. I know that sounds silly. But hang on.
Come on, man. This is a free man talking.
This country, I'm not giving you the Christopher Rufo version of America, was set up to scam. Okay? From the start. John Hancock, a scammer, a smuggler, a thief. And dude, I'm telling you, when you watch a World War II movie and they're like wearing that necklace that has someone's picture in it that they know, that is who George Washington had one in the 18th century, and he opened it and it had Patrick Bet-David's picture on it. That is who he built America for. Patrick Bet-David is so clearly a scammer that I don't understand why you would ever invest based on his name. Because his name should let you know I'm a scammer. I've said it before. In America, we're at a point where you could go to the average American and tell them, hey, I'm scamming you right now. I am selling you something that does not work. It will materially not improve your life. In fact, it will make it worse. Now give me a ton of money and they will buy it. This is the reason America is the greatest country in the world, is because of the amount of marks in the country. Patrick Bet-David is just someone who figured out how to scam properly, and that makes him an American. He has transcendent. Bitch, he's ascendant, actually. He's not fly, he's levitating. He is what it actually means to be an American. And for evidence of this, I think it's worth revisiting who he is. I mean, let's look at this here. This is Patrick Bet-David's house in Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale is scam central. I don't know if you're aware of this. I saw this video. When did this come out? A year ago. I can't tell if I watched this video where it showed his house or if it was another one. Patrick Bet-David has a clear, like scammer personality. Let's watch here in this video what he does. Let's see this here. What he owns in his house.
That's the painting that we have with the Shah of Iran in the middle. You got the Shah in the middle, Lincoln, Kennedy, Einstein, Tupac, myself.
Who's your favorite person that you met, by the way?
Trump, absolutely fascinating guy. Very, very unique. You have to realize in America, there's only been one person in the history of America where you became a billionaire.
Are you seeing this painting that he had made? It is a custom painting. Look at this, that Patrick Bet-David had made here. He's sitting in a vault. He's here in the back in one of his bad suits with Kristen Senna, the Formula One driver, Tupac Shakur, the Shah of Iran, Milton Friedman, Martin Luther King, Abraham Lincoln, John F. Kennedy, Albert Einstein, a statue of Socrates, and a statue of Aristotle, I assume. And they're discussing the Communist Manifesto and Atlas Shrugged. This is the most gaudy thing I have seen in my life. Only who can even think of commissioning a painting like this? Where do you get the idea to do it?
He could only have gotten that idea from Benjamin Netanyahu. That's it.
This is really something that when you look at it, you go, oh, I understand. This man is a scammer. He's here to scam. Because only someone with this level of delusion, these delusions of grandeur, which are worth admiring. How you doing, Solo Dolo? That's capitalism. That is capitalism. I agree. Only someone who thinks of themselves like this could be capable of making all this money in America. When I look at this painting, I see real insanity. This is insane. And it makes sense that Patrick Bet-David, but not just to leave it there, okay? Let's continue. This was one of the best moments to really show Patrick Bet-David's character, which is when he went on the Joe Rogan podcast. And people don't think about this. He went on the Joe Rogan podcast and brought in gifts that were much too expensive for Joe Rogan to accept and gave them to him anyway. Let's watch here.
Let me see if I got one of them. Did he bring the other one as well?
One more that's outside, I think.
Huh?
I don't know which is outside.
There's a
but
box.
still one more
Sam, if you're watching,
Small.
it's a small box. Yeah, if you can bring that one in, that'd be great. First one is.
Hold on.
Okay, so I'm betting myself. I think you're gonna love one of them. I hope it goes in your comedy club. Okay. I think the other ones you're gonna be like whatever because you could buy it yourself. But then the other two, I think one of them may make it on the wall. It's a competition because you got like.
Do you see this? This is the way a scammer speaks. For anyone who is a total mark, this is how a scammer speaks to you. He brought gifts to the Joe Rogan podcast, but not only did he bring them, he wanted to give them to Joe Rogan on the Joe Rogan podcast, which is really something. You know, this is not how gifts are supposed to be done. This is obviously a con artist. Look at, and we're not doing this gratuitously. If you invested money into a firm that was using Patrick Bet-David's name in order to get credence, you were going to give that money away anyway, actually. That money, you might as well have set it on fire. It takes, Patrick Bet-David is like a bully. And bullies are required in any ecosystem to keep people in check. If you are a multimillionaire who is too stupid to not see that Patrick Bet-David is going to take your money and not return it to you, and the reason that Patrick Bet-David doesn't have to return you the money is because you knew he was a scammer from the start. To return the money would be an upset of the natural order of things. Things are supposed to work this way. The thief steals. The shopkeeper sells. This is the way the world works. And you deserve to be... I'm sorry. Who in America who has a net worth of an astronomical degree has not scammed? They have all done it, whether it be Mark Cuban or Elon Musk or John D. Rockefeller or Donald Trump. Everyone must scam. And the scammy is the villain, actually. Because arguably, the scammy in holding this money hostage does not allow for the velocity of money to get fast enough to outpace inflation. I know that's technical jargon, but you don't get to keep money if you are too dumb to hold onto it. Patrick Bet-David is clear. Let's continue. Tell me how this guy is not a scammer on the face.
100 pieces sitting around that's not on the wall. Okay, so we'll see what's going to happen. First of all, so you're a Jimi Hendrix guy, right? I think you're a Jimi Hendrix guy. Perfect. I got this. We looked up to see what we can do with Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix Montblanc did a special Jimi Hendrix pen that while you're sitting here writing stuff, I know you're probably not a big guy that you care about having a fancy pen or not, but we got you the special limited edition Montblanc pen with Jimi Hendrix. I hope you like it. I'm sure. Okay.
This is inappropriate, okay? But it doesn't end there. Let's continue. What other gifts did he bring Joe Rogan? This is his first time on the Joe Rogan podcast.
This took me a minute to find this, but this is a letter written by Andrew Jackson, president, signed at the bottom with COA, and he is known as the first ever anti-establishment president, minus the founding fathers. So I hope
this is again inappropriate. Doesn't stop there.
Is the actual, let me see this here. This is the actual Warren Commission letter. Okay. Signed by Gerald Ford. Okay, the letter to the right is the Warren Commission. Then you have the autograph of Jack Ruby. Then you got the autograph of Lee Harvey Oswald.
These gaudy paintings with autograph paintings, you can buy these in Orlando. This cost at least $10,000. And the fact Joe Rogan allowed him to do this on air shows you that he is a mark just as much as everyone else. And here's the real one here. Here's the real kicker.
And a mic that he would use. I think this is from 1959. This is the original mic Lenny Bruce used. Okay.
I bet you it's not even the original bike.
I know where that's going. That's going to the club.
So, now if you don't want to do it that way, you want to put the stand, we got the stand there as well.
Oh, no.
This is a dude, like, you have to be a no self-preservation instincts to not see that this is a scam. Patrick Bet-David is literally telling Joe Rogan, I researched you, I found out everything that you like, and then I found something expensive that is correlated with it. I don't believe that any of this stuff is real. I bet you there's listening devices inside of every gift he gave here. There is no, dude, and he would deserve it for even accepting this. I don't know if white people have this. Latinos, we have this. If your friend tries to give you a gift over $20 and you're Hispanic when you're a kid, your mom is going to beat your ass if you accept it. She is going to beat your ass, which is probably bad, actually. It's probably not good. However, it does engender some suspicion as to expensive gifts. This is a sociopathic liar, which is Patrick Bet-David. And you deserve to be scammed if you buy anything he is selling. Everything. So when CoffeeZilla's you deserve to give the money back. Fuck you. That money wasn't yours to begin with. You have to be a stoic when it comes to this. Dude, this is why I admire the guy. He is the greatest scammer in Florida, at least, is Patrick Bet-David. The greatest scammer in Florida. Nothing interesting to say, nothing good, yet he is millions of subscribers and all this. I would love to go on his show. I would love to learn from him. The best scammer of all time. How did he do it? With a multi-level marketing, pyramid scheme, insurance grift. This is the greatest scammer of all time. Like, how can you be mad at this guy? Let me catch up with the chats before we continue here. Efra says, the original Shah of Iran. Oh, hang on here. Yeah. The original Shah of Iran is nothing similar to his son. I don't know how Iranian Americans feel about the Shah, but seems a bit weak, no? I don't know how any Iranian admires the Shah, the second Shah. I agree. The first one was cool. He was like a badass. Second one was just like this weak. I think he was gay. J-Boss says, I see it. Dude, you have to see it. You have to see it. Like, it is very difficult to not see the scamming. Great ass. Thank you, sir. A fool and his money are soon parted, says J-Boss. I had heard that expression, but I forgot. But it's true. If you are a fool, you deserve to have that money taken away. If you hoard it, you're actually hurting the world. Efra says, is this the equivalent as rich people slop these gifts? I don't know. I don't know why. I know why he's giving these gifts, but they're definitely slop. I agree. You can see it even in the frame. This is some piss poor frame. This is all shit you buy at the mall. There's malls in Orlando that sell this, dude. Like, this is not incredibly difficult to find. And the Lenny Bruce thing, you can find these on auction websites if this is even real. This is slop. It is slop. Like, you have to be an idiot to display this. This reminds me of in The Apprentice when and look at Joe Rogan so happy holding the Lenny Bruce mic with a cheap little plaque in it that says Lenny Bruce. This is really this is the average American, is Joe Rogan. This face, the face of the mark of the fucking idiot. This is why people like Patrick Bet-David deserve to immigrate here en masse, because these people don't deserve to have all their money. Joe Rogan does not deserve the Spotify deal because he is holding money that should be in the pockets of people like Bernie Madoff. If you are seriously believing this, if you don't go, hey, this is inappropriate for you to give this to me. You're not doing this on the show. You deserve to be scammed. You deserve it. And guess what? He had him on again. Iron Hammer says he should just cough up the 1 million or else the internet will go after him. I think even if they go after him, it would probably be better for his brand, to be honest. Iron Hammer. Because it just doesn't make sense to me. Why would he give the money back? Why would he? And if he doesn't, then people are going to ask him that question. And he can, as Patrick Bet-David does, spin it into anything he wants. He can say, oh, look, I cannot give the money back because, look, I am a numbers guy. And when I am a numbers guy, I think about the money in this way, where I do not know if the IRS wants to do it as clawback. If I give the money now, then actually what happens is it comes back as a gift tax, okay? And this is a problem for the people that are trying to recover the funds as well as me. So I must prefer for the IRS to come and take the money from me than me give it for the benefit of the people over there. In fact, I hope the IRS comes and takes 10 million from me to give back because I feel so guilty. And they're never gonna take the fucking money. Because he's a scammer, because that is, listen. This is his life story. I wanted to show you this. This is the conference I went to last year that I went only to see him. I don't know if everyone was here at the time watching the show, and I played it. I was in the audience here. I yelled out, PBD, I love you, when I saw him speak. This is the America Business Forum, which is a scam conference scamming the Saudi Arabian government, where Patrick Bet-David appeared alongside Messi and all these people.
Patrick Bet-David, host of one of the most listened to podcasts in America. From escaping war-torn Iran as a young kid to serving in the U.S. Army and building PBD, one of the most influential podcasts and platforms in America. Entrepreneur, author, visionary, a voice that challenges leaders to think bigger and to build bolder. America Business Forum presents Patrick Bet-David.
Coming out of a light tunnel, and I saw at the time there's people dancing and there's smoke being blown. How is this not evidence that he is a scamming liar?
That's what
he came out to pyrotechnics. This is a scammer.
Following interview, Brett Baer, official host.
was fantastic.
Yes.
No, that was good. That was a good wake-up call.
Great to see you.
Likewise.
Congrats on your success on all levels. You know, we start these going back to the beginning, and your beginning is unique. You were born in Iran. You came to the U.S. as a refugee. Talk to us about your family, how that kind of early displacement shaped your worldview and really kind of hunger for opportunity.
Now, how would an amateur answer this question? He would say, I was born in Iran. I had a lot of hardship as a kid because of the Iranian regime. And so my parents moved me to America and I fell in love with the country and I love it. And that's what gave me the grit, was the opportunities in America. Let's see what Patrick Bet-David does instead.
You're from Iran. You know, if you don't mind, before we get started, folks.
If you don't mind, before we get started, immediately, this is real magician shit. A true sorcerer here. Immediately taking the frame, changing it. Now I'm in charge. I'm not even answering the question you fucking asked me, bro. Before we begin, I'm going to do something. This is a scammer. This is so obvious, dude. If you don't see it, you deserve to be fucking robbed, man.
This is the one thing I do want to say about what's going on right now with Miami. There's a very special thing going on in this city. The last 100 years, if you think about the financial capital of the world for the last 100 years, New York City. Prior to that, it was London. Nobody ever thought anyone's going to take over London or New York City. I have a feeling what Mayor Suarez, what Miami is doing, the next 100 years potentially, Miami could be the next financial capital of the world. Now,
what is it that we've learned here on the show that I've told you about hypnotism? You can only hold 9 plus or minus 2 things in your head at any time. He has just introduced like 13 things into your head. I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about, but it's provocative. It gets the people going. I mean, I don't know what the fuck he's saying. Do you know what he's saying? I don't even remember the question Brett Bear asked him. This is how you scam people. You should be learning to do this so that you can do this as well.
This is my prediction on what I think is going to happen. So we're excited about it. There's something very special going on in New York. You're always welcome to come here. I know you're being recruited from all over the place. We read all about it. But yeah, you know, born and raised in Iran, one of the benefits of being raised there is you are forced to always...
He's wearing a Patek Philippe. It's probably fucking fake. He's wearing a 3-piece suit in Miami. A pinstripe suit. It could not be any more fucking obvious, man.
Look out on what's going to be happening. There's always surprises. We were a Christian family. My mother's Armenian. Any Armenians in the house or no? 7 of you, that's
got
awesome,
a few.
right? We need more. And then my dad's Assyrian, but David, there's going to be no Assyrians in the house. Really?
Oh.
Couple.
Front row.
Okay. So born and raised in Iran, and this is 1978, October 18th. 3 months later, revolution happens. On the way to my mother going to the hospital, my dad, it's curfew. So they hold up my dad. My dad has to show my wife's water just broke. I'm trying to take her to the hospital.
What the hell are you talking about? I have no idea what he's talking about. I saw him do this live. It was amazing to see. There were people taking fucking notes as he talked. And I'm looking at them like, dude, I'm here to experience it, to feel the scam, like to see it in person. He did this for 45 minutes. The stamina he has to scam. I mean, just look at this.
I put him in the closet and I go take a shower. Also had some time with my wife, which is a strategy. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. When you got kids, you got kind of like, babe, this is a good opportunity. Let's go. So we handle our business.
Telling stories, using metaphors, talking to the audience, using humor. This is a hypnotist. Like, this is a hypnotist scammer. And if you fall for it, then you're a fucking idiot. And you deserve to have your money taken from you. I think to end, let's go back to here. I wanted to show you, because I finally found it. This is him explaining that piece of art that we saw. But before we do that, let's also check in on LA. How's LA doing? Who won? Yeah, and of course, Karen Bass. Wow, she's going to go to the runoff more than likely with Spencer Pratt. Too early to call still. That's crazy. Interesting. Look at that. Look at these results. Let's see here, Patrick Bet-David explain this here.
You got this painting that I worked on and commissioned Brent Hill. You see me in here in the blue. Then we have Senna, Ayrton Senna. Then there's Tupac, the Shah of Iran, Lincoln, Kennedy, Einstein. A bunch of different hidden messages in there. MLK, empty chair. And they're debating 2 books, Atlas Shrugged and Communist Manifesto. This is my thinking room. If I want to think, I come here, I close up, and I start thinking. This piece was made.
Isn't that interesting how he said there's a bunch of hidden messages there?
Hidden messages in there.
What you know what that means is that, this is a gaudy painting, obviously, but he's saying you can project whatever you want onto this painting, which is truly an amazing thing, actually, if you think about it. Where you look at this painting, and this is, by the way, how the Rorschach test works. This is how a lot of things work in order to get people to reveal themselves to you, right? I'm sure Patrick Bet-David shows this painting to people and he's able to get things about him, right? So if you show this painting to someone and they go, wow, Patrick, you're in this painting, he probably knows the person's a suck up because the first person they mention is Patrick Bet-David in the painting. He knows to be wary. Now, if someone comes in there and they say, wow, I can't believe you have Aristotle and Socrates. He knows this is a thinking person, a philosophy person, someone who might have ethical standards, not good for valuetainment. Get them the hell out of there. Someone comes in and they say, wow, I really love Formula One and rap music. This is a great salesman because he's probably retarded. Great stuff. Let's hire him on the spot. Someone comes in here and they say, oh, dude, I can't believe you have JFK and Martin Luther King and Abraham Lincoln. He's like, dude, these were all people that were shot in the head. This guy has a secret death wish. Let's get him the fuck out of here. This is crazy. Someone comes in and says Einstein. They probably think they're super smart. Someone says Friedman. They're probably an academic. Someone says Shah of Iran. Well, maybe they're just Persian. And if someone notices the books, they like to read. We don't want them here. This is how a proper scammer operates. The gaudiness, all of this, it's all a Rorschach test, and you should be developing these to use, okay? This is very, very good stuff. Honestly, dude, he deserves the fucking Medal of Freedom. I wish he had stolen. I wish they had paid him $30 million, actually. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. And everyone's always making fun. They're like, oh, Patrick Bet-David's stupid. Oh, No, he's not. He's smarter than you because he loves this country more than an American that's been here for 200 years. And you know why? Because he read the Constitution and said, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what these motherfuckers did. What did they do? They wanted something, they took it. They didn't like someone, they killed them. They didn't want to pay taxes, they didn't. That's how America works, baby. And I tip my hat. I tip my hat. Everyone wants to be a Nietzschean. And then when a real Nietzschean brother pulls up, it's like, oh no, he's scamming me. Oh no, what did you expect? What did you expect? All the great Nietzscheans, all scammers. Going back to fucking Hitler. That's one of the first Nietzscheans, total scammer. He scammed everyone. We're going to make the country great. You got destroyed, Germany, because you're too stupid to not see a grifter. Every single one of them, dude, Trump or PBD or all of these Nietzscheans are grifters. That's how it works. Grow the fuck up. Jeez, man. Efra says Illuminati. I mean, maybe, yeah. There probably is an Illuminati element to these secret messages. I agree. I mean, they're in a vault, right? If someone says in there and they says, wait, why are they in a vault? He knows that they're a claustrophobic type of person. They're not going to be good for the Illuminati parties. Eve says, who isn't a scammer, as you implied earlier, sir? I'm not sure, Eves. I'm not sure. If you see the part, please reference it in the comments and I'll be able to help you out. J-Boss says, great point. It's a Rorschach painting to read people. Interesting. Of course. Of course. Of course. Of course. And, dude, I really am disappointed in the lack of patriotism and love for America that we have these days. People, all they do is complain. When what George Washington, I heard this from Andrew Bustamante, okay, who's a scammer himself, the CIA agent. When they asked him, what does it mean to be an American? Or he asked someone, the person said, it's about, being a man and freedom and all this. He said, okay, let me see. 1 second. And he pulled out a pocket constitution. He said, nope, I don't see being a man or any of this talk here. I don't see any of it in the Constitution. That's not what America is about. They said, no, but that's not what he says. No, dude, this is the only thing that matters. The pocket Constitution. That's the only thing that matters in this country. Everything else is superfluous. Oh, the cowboy and all this. Listen, is cowboys in the Constitution? They're not. They're not in the Constitution. The Constitution says I have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Then I'm going to focus on life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. How do I do that? With money. That's how I'll do it. It's like Americans don't even read their own Constitution. I totally respect it. And I really hate to see people denigrate an American hero. Patrick Bet-David is not a scammer. He's just an American. He's just an American. And he is one of the best of us. And we should respect that. So with that, everyone, I hope everyone had I hope everyone enjoyed the show. I'm going to be very happy to see these election results. Let's see if we got any update yet coming in here. Very interesting. Let's see. This is pretty wild. What percentage of the vote is being calculated? 46% of the votes in. Half the county voted. Interesting. It could go to a runoff. We'll see. Who's going to get more votes later? Who would save to vote later? I'm going to assume it's probably more Karen Bass than Spencer Pratt. All right. All right. All right, everyone. We're going to get the hell out of here. I hope everyone has a great night. Please like, comment, subscribe, join the Patreon, etc., etc. But more importantly, remember an American hero who is Patrick Bet-David, who didn't scam a single person. If you were going to be scammed, then you were always going to be scammed. Time is a flat circle. I appreciate everyone tuning in, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I look forward to talking about with you guys with my Dave Ramsey video, and I'm going to have a shit ton of time later this week, dude. So I'm going to have a lot of time to respond to stuff. So I will see you guys then. Message me on Patreon, on email, on anything you want. See you guys then.
Change the world. My final message. Goodbye. Change the world. My final message. Goodbye. Change the world. My final message.